the direction of our country is very, very concerning. I see a decline in our democracy. I'm concerned about affordability and just the average person being able to meet their basic subsistence. I'm also concerned about our environment. I think that we need to develop our natural resources while protecting the environment. And we also have to look at the national unity. National unity is at an all-time low, and we need to work together in unifying this country. Well, I come from industry background, so I'm used to signing the front of a paycheck, not just the back of a paycheck. I've created wealth in this country. I've employed people. I've taught at law school and university. I have a PhD in international law, so I've represented Canadian corporations, multi-million-dollar corporations abroad. So I did all of that before I went into politics. And so I went into politics not looking for a job, but looking to lend myself to serving the Canadian people. It's a very polarizing issue, and you need a lot of courage to be able to be a pro-life person. I approach my pro-life stands from the perspective of, I know other people may not share that, and I respect their views. And I think that there's so many things that we can do to bring people together and focus on what we agree on, such as pregnancy care center. If a woman finds herself in a situation where she's pregnant and she may not even want to keep the baby, but she's decided to give it up for adoption, I think it's good for the government to say, let's encourage that type of that love, that gift of giving up your baby to a family that's on a waiting list for adoption. I think is something that we should encourage. People are very concerned about the media. We have to restore trust in our institutions like the media and like government, because there has been overreach. Media has acted like the arm of the Liberal government. And in order for us to have a functioning democracy, we need an independent media. We need people to have freedom of choice, freedom of expression, and those things are entrenched in our charter. So I will uphold our charter and make sure that people have the ability to freely express themselves, and that the media does not encroach upon people's right to freely do so. I'm opposed to digital ID because of the authoritarian nature and abuses that can come from that. For example, if you look at the trucker convoy, whether you agree with the truckers or not, the government freezed accounts of people who they did not agree with. And imagine if we had digital ID, it becomes so much easier. And so before you could even contemplate something like that, we have to make sure that the government checks and balances authoritarian abuses, that those issues are dealt with. I believe in keeping people safe, so I believe in basing our healthcare decisions based on science and not political science, real science. I don't believe that the COVID should be used to divide Canadians. Unvaccinated Canadians can test and should be able to travel if it's determined that they're safe and they're not carrying the virus. And so I would end the mandates because I do believe that it is politically based. Well, unfortunately, because we did not elect an NDP Liberal coalition, but that's what we have right now. And the only way out of this is if an election is called, which I don't think one will be called before the 2025, and then we need to elect a conservative majority so that we can turn some of these things around. We can bring affordability back. We can bring back trust in our charter, trust in our institutions once again, and prosper Canadians once again. So many Canadians have told me and have literally packed up and have left the country because of the level of insecurity that our government has created. I would like to turn that around.